Hey everybody, this is Dr. Gervais, and I want to welcome you to the second episode of Latte Talk. And I want to apologize for the echo because I don't have a mic on. This intro is going to be pretty quick because we're going to be doing an interview. If you remember last episode, we talked about intention and we talked about mindset. And I introduced you to two amazing people, which I am honored to call my friends and my colleagues, Elijah and Mandy. This is going to be a great interview, and I really hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay positive, stay driven, and stay healthy. Thank you so much. Just kidding. I'm gonna edit that question out. Anyway, good morning, and I want to thank you guys for being here and being with me, and to our second episode of Latte Talk. And I really appreciate you guys doing this, and I'm sure you saw the first one. And I really wanted everybody to meet you all and really get a feeling of how really awesome it is to about things about our field, about service, about everything that you do. You know, the first episode we talked about intention and the service that we do and the mindset and everything. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. So I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. So first of all, who are you? What do you do? And how did you guys meet? And how long you been married, et cetera, et cetera. So tell me.
This is a great question. Do you want to take it? Go ahead.
Sure. Who are we? Well, we're husband and wife.
Nice.
I'm Elijah. This is my wife, Mandy. And how did we meet? We met bussing tables, cleaning tables at her uncle's restaurant in a little town called Johnstown in Pennsylvania. And that's where we're living now, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh.
How long ago was that?
15 years ago.
15 years ago. Were you in high school?
15 years ago. So I remember being 15 years old and seeing Elijah for the first time with this huge, big head of curly hair and these huge, pearly white teeth. And yeah, we've been together ever since. I invited him to my 16th birthday party, and he painted me this beautiful Vincent van Gogh Starry Night painting that's hanging in my living room now. So
very nice, very nice.
Sweet.
Tell me what you do and what how did you get into dentistry?
Well, dentistry has a lot of service involved in it, like serving, waiting on tables. We eventually did this. Mandy was much better at waiting tables than I was, but she loved the business side of it. Her uncle being the restaurant owner, she learned a lot from him. But the giving great service has continued to be something that she works on, is like how do we provide great service. So I got into dentistry because a mentor in college had said you could really do a lot of art in this field, which there is, and that's one of my passions.
Yeah. So mixing art and service together, it has been a pretty amazing thing. So my senior class project, whenever I was in 12th grade, was to be a dental hygienist. And spoiler alert, I'm not a dental hygienist. I ended up training to be an assistant and then learning how to run the business. And then I learned from many amazing consultants in dentistry. And it led us to be able to start and open up our own practice. So it's been a beautiful blessing.
I have to share this story. The first time I met you, Mandy, and Elijah wasn't there. It was at it was at Jason Olitsky's course, and I was taking a course. I said, "Oh, Mandy, where's your practice?" She goes, "You said, I'm not a dentist." I said, "Oh," I said, "Why are you here?" He goes, "Well, I'm about to marry the most beautiful man in the world," and I said to myself, "Wow." And then I met Elijah. I said, "You know what? This guy's the most beautiful guy in the world." But I loved your energy from day one. It was so contagious. It was so awesome to just, I have to say, and I'm sorry, I'm digressing. Wait, squirrel. Um, you feel certain people's energy. You just stand next to them and you feel it, and you get positivity and you get inspired. So my next question is, what inspires you in your life? What is it that inspires you to do service? What tell me about your intentions in life.
Go ahead.
So I'm I'm very excited about the adventure. Um, when we get to serve people, a lot of these times it's going to be brand new relationships, people we haven't met. There's a lot of sometimes it's not comfortable, and so getting out of that comfort zone and just enjoying the adventure, the unknown, is something that excites me about it. How about you?
Yeah. And for me, I think for me personally, for service trips, serving people, especially, we have had the opportunity. So Elijah and I, whenever he graduated dental school, we had always wanted to do like a mission service trip in another country, but we could never afford it because neither of us come from, the ability to be able to have the money to just go. And but our first year anniversary, we had decided, hey, like instead of doing something for ourselves or you buying me a gift because we happened to get married on my birthday, it was like, let's go serve the people. And so we wanted to use the gift that we both have in dentistry. And so we ended up going to Guatemala for the first time and serving the children there. And, the heart of mission is to be like Jesus Christ and to love people radically and serve people really well. So I think service is one thing that really just, you come alive. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make sense, like you're pouring yourself out for another person to serve them, but actually they give you so much back in return without even knowing it.
That's so true. That's so true. You think you're helping them, but when you serve, they're really helping you to look deep inside of you and get the best out of yourself. So that's so good. That's so good. I was just going to say, who is your guide and who is your motivation, which you just answered. So I really appreciate that. Tell me about these trips a little bit. All right, so tell me, who are these people?
So these are the kids in Africa. Whenever we went to the Masai Mara area in Kenya, and like we were saying, these kids were such joy, and they would just burst out in song, and they just start singing, and in the midst of waiting in line for you to fix their teeth, right? And it was like these kids would wait in line all day too, like no iPads, no anything crazy, and they're just waiting. And so tell us about this one. Can you see this?
Yes.
So
I wonder who's having more fun. Come on now.
This was great. This was, they would do these songs, and usually it would be a lot of dancing too.
Mm-hmm.
And when it would seem like if one would get tired, of leading, then the next one would pick up. So it would just keep going on. And, they were all excited. So then we got a photo and everyone was excited.
They were so excited. Yeah.
That's so good. There we go.
Yeah. So I think we got it down now. Okay. So these are the high fives. And this was, I think, about all we had from Africa. Can you see this?
Yes. Where is this?
This is in Cambodia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this little one was or is a monk, and I think it was one of his first dental experiences. He had never had any dentistry, so there's a big language barrier, and but it was great to to get to see some of these kids who had never had any dentistry before.
And I think, one of the things that we really love about this is that, these kids, they're so kind, like they're just so sweet. And so how it's organized is you just do, there's someone usually for intake, on the whole team. And then you're caring for what is most needed, like whatever area of the mouth is most needed. We've had some instances where, sadly, like front teeth have to be extracted because they're so blown out. Mm-hmm. Different in different countries. You will see different things in different countries. Very interesting in Guatemala, Coca-Cola is a big thing there. So you see a little bit more of a difference in big cavities there, which is interesting compared to Africa, where maybe Coca-Cola isn't as big of a thing.
So let me ask you this. How do you think these trips have changed you?
We mentioned the adventure, and I just get hungry to go back and, visit again. Some of the relationships we have formed with some of these people are just, it's just amazing when you're getting around other individuals who have the same, we want to serve. You can't really think too much about yourself. I have a tendency to get sad or feel low when I'm not serving, when I'm just focusing on inward on myself and how I could be served. It's something that we look forward. And as far as our marriage too, that can be impactful if each person is only looking toward, being served themselves. But when we get to serve together, we deepen our intimacy and grow in our marriage. So it's healthy for our marriage. For sure.
That's so good. That's so good. Such a great advice. And, you told me a story. You had a driver in Africa, and he was so happy and proud that he had this old iPhone. Story. It makes me think, honestly, we're not over here, there's so much abundance of things and taking things for granted, but I love to hear that story and how grateful he was to have that. And but I want to hear it.
Yeah, so one thing too with DDRs that they do at the end of every trip is there's some sort of adventure they get to enjoy to actually get to know the people that you have served with all week. Building relationship is really important. So in Africa, we did a safari, and that was so amazing. But I think it was the safari guide. He had this phone, and it was like an old phone, but you would have thought that it was just like the newest edition iPhone that just came out. And but he was just so excited, and it's just, I think it's an appreciation for the small things in life, of just like, I think for us, we get kind of accustomed to bigger, better, smarter, faster. And I think that there is so much beauty in like taking a step back from your life and really appreciating the small little things along the way. And I find it very interesting because I think in the season that we're in right now, it's really forcing us in a way to step back and value the smaller things that we have. If we can have that perspective, right? And just find gratefulness, even in a season maybe that we aren't too excited about. And I think that that's what you find in these people. And it's interesting of people that live in conditions that aren't the greatest, that they find such gratitude in the things that they do have. And so I think there's always something to learn,
Yeah.
From other people.
That's such a great point. And I love your post on Thursdays, the Grateful Thursdays. I want to hear, what are you guys grateful about?
You could go.
Well, a few things I've been thinking a lot lately about that I'm thankful for. Just the ability to get up out of bed, to to have this conversation with you that we've been created, and that we have others that we can enjoy a relationship with. So that communication is awesome, and something thankful for. A house, covering our head, this protection, from environment, whatever. Just that security is just an amazing thing. Food, and the variety of it. I'm starting to appreciate these essential things that I've taken a lot for granted but it's thankful that we have them.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I've been so grateful. So in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, it is spring, and spring has sprung, and the trees are so beautiful color, and tulips and so many different things lifting out of the ground, popping color. And I just think that for me personally, it's such a beautiful season that I'm grateful for, because we're reminded that a lot of these plants were planted, months ago, and they survived the winter, and they survived all of these things under the ground, and they're still popping up in color. And so it's very much hope for us that new seasons will come. And in some seasons it's winter, and in some seasons it's spring, and some seasons it's summer. But the seasons will keep on going, and just really enjoying each one. So grateful for that.
Bro,
Absolutely.
what are you thankful for?
I am thankful for every single day, honestly. I'm really grateful for my friends and my family. It's amazing what this, these are tough times. There are people struggling. We're all in this together. That is true. But individually, I think people are struggling. I mean, this is it. It's just a fact. And I am honestly thankful for people that are so positive, and they are helping me through this. And this is what this is all about. And my whole point is to have positivity. Now, again, I said this last time, I'm not in denial. This is going to be tough. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know what things are going to be when we come back. However, if we put service, like you said, in the center of everything that we do, everything else will work themselves out. And I'm thankful for having this opportunity to do that. I'm thankful for the profession that I picked. And it's just, I've made so many relationships with some amazing people, some amazing patients, and I've learned through the process. So that brings me to my next question. If you, there's a lot of bad news out there, and a lot of people are struggling, and it's a very unpredictable time. Tell me, what advice would you have? Because I know how passionate you are about your work. I honestly, I spent 30 minutes with you at FACD, Florida Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. I spent 30 minutes with you guys. I get inspired. And all the notes that you take, and all the passion, and all the drive, and I know learning is a main thing. But what advice would you have for either dental students or young dentists that are just out of this, and they are hit with this truck that it's a little tough times right now? But what advice would you have in terms of your profession?
Go ahead.
Not considering the circumstances now, I would say aggressively pay off your student debt. And I've heard often people saying, next 30 years, it's just going to be forgiven anyways. And I don't know what you feel about that, but I personally have benefited tremendously by paying off that debt quickly, because for those 30 years I would have been thinking about it personally, looming over me. So there's a lot of freedom to do things that you might not be able to. One of the main motivators to get out of debt was I had pictured at any point in time, if I wanted to go on a trip, maybe for a month even, that I could, and not have an attachment to the debt, back in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So that was a big motivator to quickly pay that off, so I could just feel free about going and serving that way.
Yeah, and just a little note on that too, just impossibility as well as, so we had structured our lives around paying student loans off aggressively and lived on one income, which was, wasn't that big of a deal for us. And then we structured our practice a debt-free practice. And so we had saved 3 to 6 months of emergency fund for our practice if something bad would happen. And so right now, to be honest with you, and praise God, we don't have to take out any loans because we have 3 to 6 months of business expenses saved in a separate account.
Mhm.
That, are we glad that we have to use it? No, but it's there. And I think, the other thing is, just as, and as I've been in dentistry, as, running the office, treatment coordinator, stuff like that, it's just really freeing to be in a place where you just get to serve even your patients, and get to offer them the best dentistry that you can offer, and really enjoy that. And as we know you do, with doing extraordinary cosmetic cases, full mouth restoration, and those are the things, we're not doing them every day, but it is such a gift when you are able to take the time to have time to learn more, right? Take continuing education, learn. And that's another thing, guys, like young dental students, never stop learning, never stop taking CE, learning from really great mentors, because I know that was a huge part of what Elijah had done, like hit the ground running, of like really take a minute and think about, like, what do I value? Like, what are my core values? What do I want to get out of this field? And look for those people that are practicing the way that you would want to practice and get with them. Send text messages. I know it was so funny because when Elijah was getting out of school, I'm like, oh, who is this Dr. Gervais? Like, his website is so cool. It had like this paintbrush or whatever. Like, who is this person? And we were like, this is someone that we want to mentor us. And so it's been such a very much a gift and a blessing.
Oh, I appreciate that. I feel the same about you guys, and this really, this profession is such a great journey, and I'm so inspired by you guys, and I really mean that. And again, I have many mentors. I have many doctors that I look up to, and I'm going to be interviewing them within the few months. And I'm just so inspired by you guys. I'm so impressed with your love in your faith and Christ, and whatever you guys are doing is soul based, and you mix that with talent and intention and drive. You get such a great combination that will get you through the tough times. And I couldn't be more proud to call you guys my friends, and I'm really grateful for you guys. I really mean that. I appreciate your time. I really appreciate the fact that you're letting me share this with everyone, and thank you so much for everything that you guys do. And is there anything else you'd like to add, or any?
No, I think one thing I would like to add, just for whoever is listening to this, be encouraged. And, we are praying for you, and we are just thankful that you would have time to watch this right now, and taking the time. And yeah, that's our hope, is just that you be encouraged.
Yeah, from personal experience, the last thing that I would do today is to isolate myself. And it can seem like we're very connected, but more than ever disconnected, because we can't really share the deeper things. We share very superficial, but just feeling encouraged to get into community for us, Zoom meetings, whatever, but the people that you do, having confidence that more than you would know, people are wanting to hear and share themselves too. And so taking that risk of taking out a step in faith that like, hey, I can be vulnerable. I wouldn't with anybody, but you can share the deeper things and not be alone. Don't be isolated. Yeah.
Awesome. Great advice. I cannot thank you guys enough. This has been wonderful. Thank you for being on Latte Talk.
Latte Talk.
I'm gonna have a requirement that you have to have a latte in your hand when we do this. I forgot to do that today. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are just wonderful. And like I said it before, I'm just so grateful to have you in my life, and I can't wait to see you guys personally. So hopefully in the next FACD coming up in August. And
we gotta give you a hug.
We're giving you virtual
hug.
Virtual hug.
I love it. All right, guys. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much, and we will talk soon. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
All right. We love you. Send our love to the whole family.
We will.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.